Hello, just want to give a quick demo of the project I've been working on. It's a survey programming platform that's got a lot of potential to grow into other things as well. But for right now, a platform for making and taking surveys. The first thing I'm going to talk about is logging in. So I didn't want to make another authentication system. I wanted to use social auth because, for one thing, it's just easier for users. Everyone's got an account from a Google or a LinkedIn or a Facebook. They're probably logged in already, so easier to just have them click a button and go right in. What's also nice about that, from the market research perspective, is it pulls in some profile data along with it. So let's say they logged in from LinkedIn, what would come along with their LinkedIn ID and email address, and if that email address has been verified, is also their work history, the size of their network, what their the references, what's on LinkedIn. Um, I wanted to be able to support lots of these because, maybe you're targeting IT professionals, so GitHub's a great place to go for there. Maybe you're just looking for Gen Pop, Facebook's the place to go for there. Google isn't that interesting, but YouTube is, I think. If they have a following, who they follow, that's pretty interesting. So Spotify for music, Patreon, Strava for athletes, all these different types of communities are out there. And I think they're an untapped resource. So in green right now are the ones that I support. Yellow's the next set of ones that I'm going to do. And then just in gray are all the other ones that are on the list at some point. So if I just log in with GitHub, since I'm logged in already, I'll log in. Don't put too much into this website as it is right now. This dashboard, for instance, is just a placeholder. It's not real data. It's just templates that I'm going to reuse when I actually start putting in real data. Likewise, on the public website, the FAQ, the blogs, pricing, that stuff's still in progress or just has placeholder data. But anyways, here we are, we're logged in. Right now I'm logged in as a survey taker, so I'm seeing these survey studies that are available to me. Over here in this profile, I'm not showing the real, or I'm just showing raw data here. Still need to build out the view, but I want to show you just some of the data that comes along from a GitHub user. How many followers they have, who they're following, their email address. Most importantly, when this account was created. So, I would put a lot more faith into an account that's existed for multiple years than for maybe 5 minutes. But there's tons of useful info and different types of useful info from different communities, that could help with your targeting. Personal data, real quick, it's a GDPR thing, other compliances, but I got it real easy this is just the raw data, but real easy to just go and see all the data that's been collected so far, including things like facial analysis, text analysis of different answers I've given to text answers, but I'll show you that later. But let's go into maker mode. So right now, making surveys and taking surveys is in the same app. Could be split up. But for right now, that's how it is. I kind of like the idea of anybody being able to log in and just, whether you're a professional market researcher, whether you're just someone who has just some general questions and you kind of want to poll the world, or if you just got a group of friends you need to get some input from, should be able to handle the most complicated case and the easiest case. But I want to cruise through survey programming. So most of the survey programming solutions I've seen make it easy, but they tend to have constraints. Usually if something's easy, it comes along with constraints. I want to make it easy, but also have things open to customization if you got skills to do those kinds of customizations. So right now, I'm showing something called Markdown here on the left. On this left side is the editor. On the right side is where it's rendered. But you can see any type of header, bold, italic text, any text encoding that might get used, whether it's Cyrillic alphabets, Japanese, Hindi, Arabic, those are supported. But the thing I want you to note is it's pretty easy to format text as you're writing it. Even though it looks cryptic, if you got somebody who's all day programming surveys, I think it's the less they have to remove their fingers from the keyboard, the easier it is for them. And this could always be enhanced from here. But just a real quick review of Markdown. It's easy to add numbered lists, bulleted lists, easy to have block quotes, easy to throw in images, easy to put in stuff that looks like programming code, horizontal rules, any kind of formatting you might see on a web page or an email. It's super easy to do just by learning some shorthands here. And I got a link to the documentation to help you out. So this is the starting point. I could always add point and click creation of canned question types. That's easy to do, but what's here is more difficult to do. So starting with the difficult thing first. So that was just basic markdown. That was just formatted text and images. But I want to show how I've extended markdown for question types. You can see right here, we got some text, but we also have a checkbox here. And this is how that checkbox was added using hype markdown. So the way you add a question type is use a question mark to indicate that you're going to add a question, or an input rather. Set the name of that question, and this is what's going to carry through with the answers into the analytics database. The type of question is, in this case, it's a checkbox, and then your label, and then formatting. So if you have web designers on staff, UX people, they'll know what Tailwind CSS is, and Tailwind CSS is built right in. So you can see here, I'm using the Tailwind CSS red color. Could easily make it green, different shades of green. Oops. Also, one thing that's nice is you could add any number of questions to any page. Most of these solutions I've seen in the past tend to constrain you to one question per page. I don't see why it's got to be that way. So here are some more different types of questions. Single selects, multi-selects, and they're using value sets that are built in. So I've got US states, languages, just a few basic ones for now, but I'm going to add to this library over time just to make it easy to ask the common questions, So genders commonly used in the United States are here, countries, languages, but let's say, I'm asking for what state they're in here. I really meant to ask them, what languages do you speak? So let me change that question. Let me drop in languages here. And now instead of US states, there's all these different languages. Open-end text boxes, these are going to automatically have AI-based text analysis applied to them, but wanted to make it easy to style these things. So however many number of rows you want, the width of it. Also, what was really nice about having Tailwind built in is some of the animation effects are fun. I don't know if you'd ever want to make your respondents answer spinning or moving text boxes, but if you did, this is your solution. Discrete choice type of questions. This is one of the fancier types of questions you might want to ask, with some animation here, some motion. Same type of idea here where there's these different value sets that are built in. Pick the one you want, and I'll just drop those in here, and just edit your labels to match what you're asking for. But the idea was to have super powerful question types, as many of those questions on a single page as you want, mixed in with text and other elements however you want. I think I'll soon start working on just point and click canned questions that have default formatting, since I think a lot of people want to use that, but just wanted to show that, freedom is built in. So again, if you have someone that's familiar with HTML, Markdown supports HTML, Tailwind's built in here, you can get pretty specific about how you lay things out and how you style things. Let's go to the account page real quick. This is unformatted, but I just want to show that these credits again. I don't want to chase down deadbeats to pay their bills. I'll probably gift users enough credits to get through their first month, and then if they stick around, they'll have to maintain their credit balance from there. I like the idea of not having to hire a controller and a payments receivable staff. Don't want to chase down deadbeats. So that's the maker perspective. Some work to do there, but getting close. The taker perspective, likewise, I'm logged in with GitHub. So I'm seeing the same information here. This would be available for profiling. So right here on this opportunities page, I'm not doing any profiling here. These are just all the studies that are available right now. But it's on the roadmap to only show what applies to people based on past screener answers, based on the profile coming from the social login, and also based on the different validations. So I want to show face liveness. So what this is doing is detecting whether or not I'm a real person. So I have to, it's not perfect yet. I have to update the flow, but what just happened there was it would have worked the same on a mobile device or on on a laptop or a computer, but it captured my face, and on the back end I just captured whether or not it's likely to be a real person. Also, since facial images were captured, I was able to do facial analysis and get an estimate for the age range. I was able to get an estimate for the gender. So think about that along with the profile information coming from the social login, and based on a lot of the checks I'll show in another video as far as what their device is, where they're coming from, and some information that I could get from behind a potential VPN that they might be using. All those things going into, I'm not going to call it routing because I don't really want to redirect off to other sites, even though I could, but in targeting and only showing the surveys that apply to them. So let's take one. This is the weed study. Make it a bit bigger here. Welcome to the weed survey. I'm gonna ask you about your favorite weed strain, typo, what's important to you, all that stuff. How do you prefer to consume cannabis? I personally prefer flower and edibles, but flower, I'm old school. Select all the strains that you've had. I've had quite a few of these, but Berry Punch, I know. Bloodwalker. Lamborghini. The two, I've had a few of them. Which quality is the most important to you in a strain of cannabis? Definitely taste, terpene combination is important. In your own words, please explain what weed means to you. This is a tough question. How much time you got? All right, thank you very much. More to come in following videos.